20 years later, a poor boy's heartwarming promise revealed, he returned with an incredible gift. Alex stood on the old cracked pavement of his childhood town, his heart pounding like a drum. 20 years had passed since he had sat at his grandfather's bedside, surrounded by dim hospital lights and the smell of antiseptic. With a trembling voice, he had promised to return, to make something of himself and honor the family legacy. Now, under a canvas of familiar skies, he carried the weight of that promise and the memory of the twinkle in his grandfather's eyes. Growing up here wasn't easy. His mom worked endless shifts to keep food on the table, while his grandfather shared stories in hushed tones, flipping through photo albums filled with dreams once chased. Each tale of resilience sparked something in young Alex, igniting a fire that pushed him through school, through the bullying, through the hard times. When his grandfather had fallen ill, Alex vowed to become the man he believed he could be. Now, as he stood where he once felt so small, he couldn't help but remember how those same streets felt like an endless maze of despair. The laughter of his friends echoed in his mind, mixed with the taunts of those who made fun of his worn-out shoes. But today, it was different. Today he returned as a successful entrepreneur, ready to invest in the place that raised him. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. The day of the town event had arrived, and the air was thick with anticipation. Community members gathered under the grand old oak tree that had witnessed it all, the laughter and the heartbreak, the promises and the broken dreams. Alex could feel the mix of excitement and doubt swirling around him. Would they embrace him? Or would they cling to the memories of that shy boy who left without a word? As the sun dipped, casting a golden glow, local performers took the stage, telling their stories through music and art. One by one, the townsfolk shared their dreams and struggles, lighting fires in each other's hearts. Alex felt hope washing over him, but he could still sense skepticism lurking behind the smiles. Taking a deep breath, he stepped forward, ready to share his journey. His voice trembled as he recounted hardships and triumphs, the lessons learned, and the evening grew quiet with listening ears. Warmth filled the air, but doubt remained, just a whisper from the crowd. As Alex prepared to reveal a special gift, a shadow fell upon him. A town elder stepped forward, a frown etched across his face, ready to voice a deep-rooted mistrust. Murmurs erupted, cutting through the hopeful atmosphere like a knife. Alex's heart raced. This was the moment of truth, and the weight of his grandfather's promise felt heavier than ever. Would he be able to bridge the chasm between his past and his dreams? Would the townsfolk recognize his sacrifices before it was too late? The elder's gaze pierced through the gathering darkness, his voice steadied by years of experience. "You come back after all this time, with stories of success and dreams fulfilled," he began, his words dripping with skepticism. "But how can we trust you? Where were you when we needed you?" Alex felt the heat rise in his cheeks. He could feel the murmurs ripple through the crowd, an unsettling blend of disappointment and anger. They were expecting something more, something different, but all he could offer was honesty. Taking a step forward, he looked into the elder's eyes. "I can't change the past," he admitted, his voice almost breaking. "But I stand here today, not just to share what I've become, but to give back. To prove that the boy who left is still part of this town, still loves it just as fiercely. I owe it to you, to my grandfather." The crowd grew silent, and for a moment Alex thought he could almost hear his grandfather's voice cheering him on, urging him to push through the rising doubt and uncertainty. He swallowed hard, feeling the weight of his promise and the urgency of the moment. With trembling hands, he unveiled a large check bound in a red ribbon. "Today I want to start a scholarship fund for our youth, the future of this town. With this money, I hope to provide opportunities for those who are determined to escape the traps we once knew. I want to invest in their dreams to support their ambitions. Let's show them that it's possible to rise above." The silence around him felt electric, charged with potential as he spoke. The elder's frown softened just a touch, curiosity now mingling with suspicion. "And how do we know this isn't just a stunt?" Alex took a deep breath, his heart racing. "You don't have to take my word for it. I'll be here every step of the way. I'll work with you to create a plan that will leave a lasting impact. We can build a community center, support our local businesses, and uplift each other the way we used to. I believe in us, in what we can do together." A ripple of reactions passed over the crowd, some faces still hardened by doubt, while others began to show signs of hope, skepticism slowly giving way to curiosity. In that moment, Alex realized it wasn't just about what he could offer. It was about mending the rift, rebuilding the trust. But just as he felt the tide shifting, a voice from the back shouted, "You think you can just come back here and buy our loyalty?" Gasps echoed. Alex's heart sank again as he recognized that old, familiar voice, the bully from his childhood. "I'm not asking you to buy anything," Alex replied fiercely, passion igniting in him. "I'm here to earn it, to prove that I can be trusted again." With every word, he fought against the surge of emotion threatening to overwhelm him. Each second felt like a lifetime. The moment hung in the air, suspended between hope and resentful doubt. Slowly, he noticed some nods, tentative acceptance, while a few stayed rigid. "Let's not forget our history," the elder spoke, his tone softer. "But let us also consider the future." The air was thick with uncertainty, the tension palpable. As the doubts mingled with flickers of belief among the crowd, Alex knew he had a long road ahead. But his heart kept beating with the promise of what could be. With one final look at the crowd, he forced a smile. "Together we can overcome, together we can build something beautiful." His words hung in the air like a thread waiting to be pulled. Would they take the chance? Would they brave the risk of believing in him? As he awaited their response, an unexpected voice rose amidst the crowd, a voice of hope echoing from the front lines. "Maybe our hearts can open after all." And Alex realized that this was only the beginning of his true test. Could he truly be the catalyst for change that both he and this town desperately needed? As he held his breath, the tension surged, pulling him closer to the edge of a new chapter in his life, one where the stakes were higher than ever before. The crowd shifted, the air rippling with whispered conversations and shifting emotions. Alex's heart raced as he scanned the faces before him, the surprised glances, the skeptical frowns, and the flickers of hope that began to emerge like buds in early spring. He locked eyes with the elder, who appeared to be weighing his next words carefully, as if they might hold the power to reshape everything. "I'll tell you what," the elder said slowly, the gravity of his voice cutting through the mingled reactions. "If you truly believe in this, if you want to create change, then show us. You can't just promise. You must act." Alex nodded vigorously, his heart drumming a hopeful rhythm. "I'm ready, just tell me how I can help." The murmur in the crowd grew louder, a fusion of cautious agreement and lingering doubt. A young woman near the front stepped forward, her face brightening as she added, "How can we be part of this? We want to contribute too." As eyes turned towards her, more voices joined in, and suddenly it was like unleashing a dam. Ideas began to bubble up, creative initiatives, local workshops, a market day on the weekend to connect the community. Alex felt a surge of energy. It was no longer just his vision, it was theirs too. The elder's demeanor softened further. "Very well. Let's call a meeting then, and we'll discuss what this can truly look like." Relief washed over Alex, the knot of tension slowly unraveling in his chest. There was still so much to prove, but for the first time, it felt like they were on the verge of something beautiful. He felt the initiation of a connection, a bridge being built between them. As the crowd dispersed, exchanging excited chatter and glances shared between old friends, Alex remained anchored in place, staring down at the red ribbon that bound his check. It seemed both weighty and light, a symbol of hope amidst uncertainty. Suddenly, a familiar voice broke through his thoughts again. "So, you really think you can get the town to rally behind you? That's ambitious, isn't it?" It was the bully from his past, a ghost that refused to rest easy. "What's it to you?" Alex asked, bitterness creeping into his voice. "You think I care what you think? I'm not here to impress you." "There it is, the old spark," the bully replied with a sneer. "But don't forget, you can't make everyone happy. Some of us prefer things just the way they are." Alex clenched his fists but forced himself to breathe. "I'm not trying to make everyone happy, I'm just trying to help." The bully shrugged, clearly still unconvinced. "You really think you can change hearts after all this time? Good luck." And with that, he turned away, leaving chains of doubt clinking in his wake. Alex felt a swirl of emotions welling up inside him, anger, frustration, but mostly a fierce determination. He had grown, and even if the past lingered, it didn't define him anymore. That night, Alex sat alone in his old room, walls filled with memories. He couldn't sleep. Thoughts swirled like swirling leaves in autumn. The possibilities, the weight of expectations, and the painful reminders of failure pressed heavily against his chest. "Can I really do this?" he whispered to the empty room, a thread of fear threading through his hope. Just as the dawn began to break, he made a decision. Tomorrow he would attend that meeting and face whatever shadow lingered in the hearts of those he sought to serve. He wouldn't back down. With renewed vigor, Alex finally fell asleep, dreaming of the future he hoped to create, the community he sought to unite. There was no going back now, but as he drifted deeper into sleep, an uninvited thought flickered. Was he truly ready for the battle ahead? As the sun broke through the horizon, a new chapter beckoned, filled with uncertainty and promise alike. How would the town react when they faced the truth of their own fears and expectations? Alex awoke to the soft glow of dawn filtering through the window. The world outside was alive, brightening with every passing moment. The nerves that had twisted in his stomach faded into a flicker of excitement. Today was the day. He dressed quickly, pulling on an old but familiar shirt that felt like armor against his past doubts. Each step down the creaky staircase was a step closer to something he had only hoped for until now. A sense of belonging, a sense of purpose. When he arrived at the community hall, a modest brick building at the end of Main Street, he was greeted with a mix of familiarity and apprehension. A small crowd had already gathered, faces etched with hope and a touch of skepticism. He felt their eyes on him as he approached. It was both energizing and terrifying. Alex took a breath and stepped forward, remembering the burst of ideas from the previous gathering. "Thank you all for coming," he began, his voice steady despite the shaking in his hands. "Today is about all of us. Together, we can make a difference, but we need each other." Murmurs rippled through the crowd. He noticed the young woman from yesterday, her chin lifted, eyes sparkling with determination. Others shifted, looking between one another, weighing the moment. "We can start small," he continued, "like organizing workshops where we can share our skills, or setting up community days to bring everyone together. Let's support our local businesses and bring in new life." A man in the crowd, wearing a faded cap, raised his hand. "What if there's no interest? What if people think it won't work?" Alex felt a wave of emotion crash into him. He understood that fear all too well. "What if it does work?" he replied, his voice gaining strength. "Imagine what we could build together, a place where our kids can play safely, where our voices are heard. We can cultivate a community that thrives. Don't we owe it to ourselves to try?" A silence fell over the crowd as they considered his words. Alex's heart raced. Moments like these almost felt electric, where hope and hesitation battled for dominance. Suddenly, the young woman stepped forward again, a fierce look on her face. "I want to help. I can organize the workshops. I know a lot of people with different skills. We can do this." A ripple of applause broke out, igniting the room with excitement. Other voices joined in, sharing ideas, proposing plans. Laughter echoed, spirits lifted. The air filled with anticipation as people began to lean into one another, the ice slowly melting away. But then came a voice cutting through the joy. "What makes you think it will work, Alex? You're just setting us up for disappointment." The bully's tone dripped with mockery. For a moment, Alex faltered. The shadows of doubt loomed again, but this time, something different bubbled up inside him. Instead of anger, he felt empathy. I understand why you'd think that, Alex replied, calmness washing over him. I used to feel that way too, paralyzed by fear. But I believe things can change. I believe in us. His words hung in the air, trembling with vulnerability and sincerity. Faces turned to the bully, and Alex sensed a shift. He hadn't just spoken to one person. He'd tapped into the pulse of a community still trapped in its past. As ideas swirled and alliances formed, Alex felt strength build within him. Each idea offered, each nod of agreement ignited flames of determination. They were finally planting seeds for something new. As the meeting drew to a close, Alex stood before the crowd, their faces radiating hope and courage. Let's organize again next week. Let's build this together, brick by brick. Cheers erupted, voices rising high, echoing off the walls. They believed. A rush of emotion flooded through him, relief, joy, and the weight of responsibility. Just as he began to bask in the moment, a chill ran down his spine as he caught a glance of the bully, now standing back, his expression unreadable. Had Alex truly shifted something deep within? The crowd began to disperse, filled with chatter and laughter, but one question hung in the air, thick with possibility. What awaited them as they ventured into this brave new endeavor? Alex's heart pounded in anticipation, ready to face whatever came next. What challenges lay ahead in the face of their dream? And could they truly transform their town? Or would the ghosts of the past threaten to pull them back? The following week, anticipation swirled in the air like sweet promises waiting to be fulfilled. Alex arrived early at the community hall, the sun's rays casting a warm glow around him. He wanted to soak in the moment, to relish the chance to build something beautiful. Last week's meeting had lightened a burden he had carried for too long, and he was eager to see how far that spark had ignited. As he set up chairs, others began to filter in. The young woman, whom he learned was named Mia, arrived with a notepad clutched tightly. Her eyes lit up as she spotted him. I've been brainstorming some ideas for our first workshop. I think we should focus on basic skills that everyone can use. Cooking, budgeting, maybe even tech skills, she suggested, her enthusiasm palpable. That sounds fantastic, Alex replied, feeling a rush of gratitude for her initiative. It was moments like these that reminded him they were in this together. Gradually, the room filled with townsfolk, eager to be part of something new. Alex's heart swelled as laughter floated through the air. Ideas bounced off the walls, and he marveled at the diverse talents surrounding him. Each person's passion and creativity wrapped around him like a comforting blanket. But then he noticed the bully lurking at the back. Today he wasn't mocking. Instead, he watched with an unreadable expression, as if he were deciding whether to join or sabotage. Alex didn't want that darkness to seep into the light they were trying to create, but he also recognized something hopeful, a tension that was neither wholly positive nor negative. Let's get started, Alex announced, trying to push back any lingering unease. Who wants to share their idea first? Mia stood up, her voice ringing with a confidence that came from knowing she was part of something bigger. She detailed her vision of workshops and community days filled with family-friendly activities. It felt exciting to see everyone nodding along, feeling the momentum building. As people began to volunteer ideas, an art class, a neighborhood cleanup, a farmer's market, Alex's spirit soared. For the first time in a long while, he felt like a leader. But then, the silence fell again, heavy and oppressive, as the bully raised his voice one more time. Are we really doing this? He said, sarcasm lacing his words. You think we can just fix everything with a few workshops? That sounds like a joke. His words pierced through the joyful atmosphere, and Alex felt a pang of frustration. He wanted to respond, to defend what they were creating, but he hesitated. Mia stepped in, surprise flashing across her face. How can you say that? People are coming together. Isn't that what we need? Hope. The crowd murmured in agreement, but Alex could feel the tension thickening. People started to fidget, their doubt creeping back in. What if their dreams were too fragile, too unrealistic? Taking a deep breath, Alex decided to reach for a different approach. I understand why you might feel that way, he said, choosing his words carefully. Honestly, I felt lost too. But sometimes trying is all we need. Just one small step can lead to something greater. There was an awkward silence, and it seemed everyone held their breath. The bully's gaze flickered, a mix of skepticism and curiosity. Alex caught his eye, willing him to understand what they were all trying to do. Then, out of nowhere, another voice from the crowd spoke up. "If we don't try, we'll never know what we could have built," an older woman added, her voice shaking but strong. "This community has been stuck for too long. I refuse to let fear hold us back." The bully blinked, perhaps surprised by the sudden pushback. Something in the air shifted, and Alex sensed a fracture in the barrier of doubt. As the meeting progressed, discussions flourished again, locking arms against negativity. Plans were solidifying, excitement rising like steam from a freshly brewed cup of coffee. With every new show of support, Alex felt embers of courage igniting his heart. Yet through the waves of hope, he couldn't shake the feeling that something was still bubbling beneath the surface. What if the bad memories still lingering in this town rose up to challenge their intentions? As the session wrapped up, smiles painted the faces around him, but Alex couldn't ignore the unease within. What kind of storms might still be gathering on the horizon? Would their community withstand the pressure, or would old ghosts rise up to haunt their new beginnings? The next meeting awaited, and with it the next chance to face whatever might come, together. The days leading up to the next meeting felt charged with tension and promise. Alex could hardly sleep, replaying the last session in his mind. The lively laughter, the burgeoning ideas, and the heavy presence of skepticism still echoed within him. While the crowd had rallied beautifully, the bully's voice lingered, a dark cloud hovering over their newfound hope. As he walked into the hall again, Alex felt a flutter of nervousness. He scanned the room for familiar faces. Mia, the older woman, others who had dared to share their dreams. They were here, ready for this next step, but Alex spotted the bully seated in the back once more. Today, though, he looked different. Instead of crossing his arms in defiance, he seemed contemplative, as if he were waiting for something to happen. "Welcome back, everyone," Alex stated, trying to inject energy into his voice. "I hope you've all had a chance to think about the workshops we discussed." He wondered if this was the day they would either rise to meet their shared challenges or face the doubts head-on. Mia stood, enthusiasm radiating from her. "I got some feedback from my friends about the cooking workshop. They've offered to help us plan it. They even suggested including some local recipes that tie back to our community's history." Her eyes sparkled, and Alex felt the warmth of hope beginning to spread. One by one, people jumped on the wave of excitement. They built upon Mia's ideas, suggesting topics that were important to them. A class on financial literacy, a discussion on mental health, even a storytelling night that celebrated the community's history. Each suggestion came with a name attached, a personal story feeding into the collective dream. Even the bully, now slowly shifting towards the center, spoke up, his voice surprisingly steady. "What if we also talk about how to deal with conflict?" His words were unexpected, and Alex nearly faltered. Not just between each other, but in broader terms. The room fell silent, confusion mingling with surprise. For a moment, Alex didn't know how to react. After everything leading up to this moment, part of him wanted to brush off the question, to distance himself from the hostility that had plagued their town. But as he searched the room, he met the eyes of those around him, open, waiting, hungry for progress. "I think that's a great idea," Alex replied, nodding. "If we're truly going to come together, we need to understand how to navigate those differences." A soft murmur of agreement spread through the crowd. The bully visibly relaxed, leaning back slightly as if a weight had been lifted. Perhaps, just maybe, he wanted to be part of the change too. As the meeting continued, momentum built like a wave. The room buzzed with energy. Alex felt his heart beat faster, each discussion igniting more light, stripping away shadows that had loomed too long. The ideas bounced around like fireworks in the night sky, and Alex began to believe in the strength of their vision once more. Yet, as smiles filled the room and laughter floated in the air, doubt still crept into the corners of his mind. Were they making real progress? Would the bully truly let go of past grievances, or was this an act waiting to unravel? As they wrapped up, Alex stood, holding back a tide of hope and uncertainty. "Thank you all for showing up today. Together, we're already overcoming so much." While applause rippled through the room, Alex couldn't shake the feeling that storms were still brewing. Beneath the shores of unity, old tides of resentment might pull them apart. Was this the turning point, or merely the calm before the real conflict began? Everyone was excited, but as he scanned the room once more, he felt the unease settle again. What awaited them as they pushed to create something truly beautiful? The next meeting loomed large in his mind, and with it the urge for clarity and the need to confront the lurking shadows. Would they overcome, or had they merely scratched the surface of deeper issues? The next meeting arrived, and the hall felt electric with anticipation. Alex stood at the podium, a wave of energy pulsing through the crowd. Faces were lit with a mixture of hope and uncertainty. He took a deep breath, trying to steady himself. The bully sat near the front this time, leaning in slightly as if he were fully engaged in what was about to unfold. "Hi everyone, it's great to see you again," Alex said, his voice softer yet resolute. "Today we're diving deeper into those conversations about conflict resolution, because it's clear we need to turn this shared energy into something meaningful." Mia nodded from the side, her presence a reassuring anchor. Encouraged, Alex nodded toward her. "Let's hear how we can frame conversations around our differences and really dig in." Hands shot up across the room, each person eager to contribute. Ideas flowed like a bubbling stream, each suggestion more powerful than the last. "We should have role-playing sessions," someone shouted. "Let's try to put ourselves in each other's shoes." With every idea, a sense of camaraderie seemed to take root, blooming like flowers after heavy rain. Alex felt his heart swell, but then just as quickly, the weight of skepticism pressed in. He caught the bully's eye. Would this be real, or was it all a facade? As if reading his thoughts, the bully spoke up. "Role-playing is great, but what if we also create a safe space to talk about our past conflicts?" His tone was genuine. "We need to face what's happened before we can truly move on." A chill swept through the room. Alex saw doubt flicker across faces, but he also noticed a shift. "I think that's a powerful suggestion," Alex replied, heart racing. "If we're going to heal, we have to acknowledge the hurt." Seconds dragged as the crowd processed his words. Murmurs of agreement began to swell. People began to share their hesitations, their pain, and their stories. The air felt heavy with shared burdens, yet hopeful glimmers started to emerge, each voice leading the way towards clarity. Alex listened, feeling every word resonate within him. The bully, whose name Alex still barely knew, shared a moment from his childhood, a time he'd felt misunderstood and angry. It was a story filled with vulnerability and regret, and when he finished, the room fell into an uneasy silence. Finally, Mia offered a soothing, "Thank you for sharing that. We all have our struggles. It's not just about our past. It's about moving forward together." The bully's gaze softened, and Alex witnessed the need, no, the yearning for connection in his eyes. Was this the start of a new chapter? Could others see the depth behind the facade he'd built around himself? As discussions flowed, excitement began to spiral again, and more ideas raced to the surface. They charted a path forward, crafting workshops and discussions that intertwined their stories. Hope grew like wildflowers breaking through pavement, vibrant in spite of the hard ground beneath. But amid the thrill of progress, Alex felt the tension still lurking, like a shadow waiting to suffocate their light. Just as the meeting began to wind down, a voice called out from the back. It was a new person he hadn't seen before, but everyone felt their presence. "I want to join this. I need to be a part of this group," the newcomer said, a fire in their eyes. Murmurs of curiosity rippled through the crowd. Who were they? What did they know? Alex felt the room pause, a collective breath held tight. In that moment, the air thickened with suspense. Why had this stranger chosen now to step forward? Whatever happened next could change everything. Would they welcome this new force into their fragile circle, or would it disrupt their hard-won progress? Every eye turned toward the newcomer, and something deep inside Alex tightened. He sensed it. A decision point was looming. They stood on the brink of something bigger, but uncertainty draped over them all like a heavy cloak. What lies ahead as they enter this uncharted territory? The moment lingered, silence stretching like a taut string. Alex could sense the nervous energy crackling in the air. The newcomer stood there, their presence magnetic, drawing all focused attention. He was tall, with a wild mane of curly hair, and wore a vintage band t-shirt, threads fraying at the seams. The kind of thing that either made you feel nostalgic or out of place. "I'm Jamie," the newcomer said, a spark igniting in their voice. "I used to think no one would understand me. I've been watching from the sidelines." Whispers rippled through the crowd. Some exchanged glances, brows furrowed. Was this risk worth it? The bully, who had surprised everyone with his earlier honesty, shifted in his seat, eyes narrowing with curiosity. "What do you mean by watching?" someone in the back asked, a hint of skepticism draped in their tone. Jamie's gaze was steady as they replied, "I've faced my own battles, and I saw you. Every time you all met, I recognized something in you. I felt alone, too." The words were laced with sincerity that cut through the uncertainty. Alex's heart thudded in rhythm with the shifting emotions in the room. Something clicked. An unspoken bond was forming over shared pain and resilience. Jamie continued, "I want to be part of something real, to help us heal together. I know I can." Before more doubts could fester, Alex stepped forward. "We're all here because we want change, Jamie. If you want to join us, we would love that." He tried to keep his voice steady despite the fluttering in his stomach. From behind, Mia nodded encouragingly, the light of hope reflecting in her eyes. "You're bringing in a new perspective," she added, enough to spark conversations around the room again. As approval washed through the crowd, Alex caught the bully's eye once more. He could see a surprising mix of acceptance and respect. Maybe this new addition wasn't a threat after all. Slowly, the room filled with animated discussions as they began to welcome Jamie into their circle. Ideas bounced around like playful fireflies. One suggestion led to another, branching out in directions Alex hadn't imagined. The energy flowed more freely now, the group embracing their collective strength. Yet amidst the budding excitement, a nagging question lingered in the back of Alex's mind. Had they really addressed the root of their conflicts, or was this merely surface-level bonding? The undercurrent of doubt tugged at him as he listened to their laughter and brainstorming. A sudden thought hit him hard. What if Jamie's presence changes everything for the better, but also opens old wounds? What if the stories they shared stirred something deep and painful? From the corner of the room, he watched Jamie laugh openly, filling the space with light. Excitement bubbled like boiling water, but in the chaos, Alex couldn't shake off a feeling of dread coiling within him. "Maybe we should also talk about what it means to blend our narratives," he suggested, trying to ground the moment before it soared too high. "Each of us has a history that shapes who we are. Let's not forget that." This time it was the bully who chimed in, "Yeah, we have to dig deep. If we're really doing this, we have to include everyone's story, ours and each new person who joins." The tension turned thick again, but charged with possibility. Would they be strong enough to confront everything that lay ahead? The choices now could lead to a breakthrough or a breakdown. As the crowd erupted into discussion once more, Alex felt both hopeful and petrified. Change was palpable, but so was danger. What would revelation reveal? A knock echoed from the hallway, just as he felt himself spiraling into deep thought. All heads turned toward the door, and Alex's breath caught. Who could it be now? What would they bring with them? The weight of anticipation hung heavy in the room. He knew something pivotal was on the horizon, ready to reshape their fragile progress. What awaited them just beyond that door? The knock echoed again, louder and with urgency. Eyes darted towards the door, tension vibrating through the room. Jamie's laughter faded, replaced by a collective holding of breath. "Should someone check?" Mia whispered, her voice barely above a murmur. Before anyone could respond, Alex took a tentative step toward the door. His heart thudded in sync with the thumps echoing in his mind. Was this the moment they'd been waiting for? Or was it something that could unravel everything they had just started to build? He reached for the door handle, hesitating for just a split second to gather himself. He needed to be brave, just like Jamie had been. With a deep breath, he twisted the handle and pulled the door open. There stood a tall figure, familiar yet distant, a woman with the same curly hair that bounced freely in the breeze. It took Alex a moment to process the recognition. This was Jamie's sister, Sarah. The room fell silent as eyes widened. "Sarah?" Jamie stepped forward, disbelieving. "What are you doing here?" "I heard about the gathering, and I needed to find you." Her voice trembled, like a thread stretched too tight. "I've been looking for you." The air shifted, a mix of anxiety and hope swirling around them. Alex could see Jamie's face flicker with 1,000 emotions, shock, nostalgia, and perhaps something deeper that they hadn't yet unraveled. "I'm sorry I left," Sarah continued, her eyes glistening with unspilled tears. "But she's not well. I didn't know how to handle it, so I got away. I should have brought you with me." Murmurs filled the room again, questions swimming in the air like uninvited guests. What kind of news was this? Alex felt the ripple of concern and confusion. They were digging deep into their own traumas, and now this. Jamie's face tightened. There was a new level of vulnerability he hadn't seen before. "You came back just when things were shifting for me." Jamie's voice cracked, an unsteady bridge connecting a past filled with abandonment to the present moment. The bully, who had been an unexpected ally, shifted again and spoke up. "If we're doing this, we should all share what we need to. Sarah, if you have something to say, now might be the time." "And what if it tears us apart?" Jamie's words were sharp, not out of anger but fear. "What if the truth hurts more than the silence?" Alex felt the tension coiling tighter. They had cracked open their own wounds in the promise of healing. Now were they ready to confront someone else's pain? Or would this be the moment everything spiraled downhill? "What we need is to listen," Alex finally interjected, his heartbeat pounding in his ears. "If we're going to move forward, we need to embrace all parts of our stories. Yours matters too, Sarah." A silence draped over them, heavy and thick. Sarah's gaze flitted from Jamie to Alex, unsure yet desperate for an anchor. "Okay," she whispered finally, determination sparking in her eyes. "But you might not like what comes next." Alex held his breath, the reality sinking in. The walls they had started to build might be made of fragile threads, delicate yet strong, waiting to see if they would hold. The stakes had risen, and that weight pressed down hard. As Sarah took a deep breath, gathering the courage to share her truth, Alex glanced back at Jamie. Would this revelation be their salvation, or their undoing? The air crackled with potential, the thrill of discovery dancing on the edges of fear. What had Sarah come to reveal? And more importantly, how would their stories intersect, unravel, and weave together at the very core of who they were? Sarah took a shaky breath, the weight of all those unspoken words hanging in the air. "I didn't realize how much I needed to come back here, to find you, Jamie." Her voice trembled, a soft melody against the tense silence. "But things have changed back home. Mom isn't just sick, she's struggling, and it's affecting everything." Concern rippled through the crowd, eyes darted from Jamie to Sarah. The resolve in Jamie's face began to waver. "I don't know how to help her," Jamie whispered, vulnerability seeping into each word. "I thought I could escape it all." "This community is stronger together," Alex interjected gently. His heart ached for their shared sorrow, the pain of abandonment and unexpected burdens. "If we stand together, maybe we can find a way to support you both. It's never too late for family." Gasps murmured through the crowd. Families were built on love, but wounds ran deep, leaving scars that needed time to mend. It was clear that the past was not as gone as they'd hoped. The bully, once taunting, now shifted in his seat, caught in the whirlwind of emotions. "I lost my family too," he shared, his voice heavy with honesty, "and it made me realize that we can't dodge our pain. It just follows us around like a shadow." His admission hung in the air, creating a bridge of understanding. The crowd was quiet, the remnants of skepticism fading as empathy took root. "I didn't want to show weakness," Sarah confessed, wiping away a tear. "But coming here, facing this, seeing Jamie with people who care and believe in dreams, it's making me realize I don't have to be alone." A wave of solidarity washed through the hall. The painful memories felt like anchors in this moment, yet they also felt like leaders guiding them toward healing. Each individual knot in their stories began to unravel, revealing a tapestry of shared human experience. I think we can create something powerful, Alex said, heart racing with inspiration. It starts with us, laying it all out and building bridges. If we're truly going to be a community, we can't ignore pain. We have to acknowledge it. Jamie nodded, eyes shining with hope. Let's gather stories, not just ours but those of everyone here. We can share the weight of our fears and struggles. Let's create that safe space to heal. As whispers grew excited in the crowd, Alex sensed something magical forming, an atmosphere thick with promise. Together, they could cultivate a place of understanding. It felt like they were planting seeds in rich soil. With renewed conviction, Sarah took a step forward, and the shadows surrounding her began to lift. Let's work together to support each other and bring hope back home as a family. It will take time, but time spent together can heal us. As the room buzzed with enthusiasm, Alex felt warmth envelop him like a comforting hug. These were the moments that truly mattered, when people came together to forge a new path. They stood on the precipice of transformation, ready to weave a new narrative that would honor the past, but not be confined by it. And then came a quiet voice from the back. "You all are brave," the newcomer said softly. "I've watched from a distance, but now I want to belong too. Can I share my story?" "Of course," Alex urged, feeling the community embrace pulsing through the room, growing stronger with every shared word. They were no longer alone. Each individual was now a vital thread, intertwining realities, formulating a living tapestry of resilience and hope. One by one, they stepped forward to share their truths, stories echoing like a comforting heartbeat among the collective. There was laughter and some tears, healing washing over each narrative like a revitalizing rain. Old wounds faced the light, and through this process came understanding and acceptance. As the meeting wound down, Alex stood with his heart brimming over. He had seen desperation turn to hope, pain transform into healing, not because they had solved everything, but because they had embraced the flaws within their tapestry. The road ahead remained uncertain, but it felt like they had built a new foundation, a home where they could support one another through laughter and through sorrow. "We're stronger together," Alex proclaimed, his voice booming with conviction. "This is just the beginning. Together we will thrive. I know we can do great things." Applause erupted, not just for the words spoken, but for the feelings ignited, the courage within each person to face their own battles. Hope began to envelop the room like a warm blanket on a cold night. As laughter echoed off the walls, Alex watched the faces around him shine with newfound belief, a community ready to rise. They still had to navigate challenges, yet he felt assured they could face anything together. Later that evening, as everyone began to leave, Jamie and Sarah stood by the door, tears of joy streaming down their faces. "Thank you," Jamie said to Alex, "for letting me bring her back. I didn't realize how powerful this moment would be." And in that instant, Alex understood. This journey of theirs had truly just begun. Each heart stood open now, beating in rhythm with dreams and struggles combined. It felt electrifying. "Let's create more spaces," he whispered, conviction surging through him. Spaces where everyone feels free to belong. With hope lighting their way, they stepped out into the night, ready to face whatever came next, not as individuals, but as a community bonded by their stories. Before they parted ways, Alex took a moment to breathe deeply, taking in the joy and resolve sparkling in the air. They were creating a legacy of trust and connection, a legacy that would ripple through the town for years to come. This was the moment of transformation, and it would only grow stronger with every story shared. The road ahead might be long, but each step they took together would light the path forward. You need to subscribe now to not miss the next exclusive stories filled with hope and inspiration. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and let the world know how important this journey is. Comment your reactions and feelings about this ending, because every voice matters. Share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to witness this incredible transformation. Don't wait, not even one more second. Only true fans understand the power of spreading love and connection.